Yesterday, the Zadroga 9/11 Health and Compensation Act passed both the House and Senate. The bill provides $4.2 billion in health care to those who fell ill from breathing toxins at Ground Zero. Getting the bill passed was not easy. As of last week, 2 Senate Republicans refused to let the bill come to a vote. Republican Senator Tom Coburn was threatening to block it. To get the bill passed, it took the work of both New York senators, plus all of those who lobbied Washington, John Feel and the Feel Good Foundation, former New York City Mayor Republican Rudy Giuliani, current New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg, and, according to Mayor Bloomberg's Twitter, it also took a comedian. Big thanks to Senator Gillibrand, Senator Schumer, and Jon Stewart at The Daily Show for work to pass the Zadroga Act. When asked about Jon Stewart's influence this morning, Senator Schumer had to agree.
Some of the media have noted that Jon Stewart actually took this.
He was great.
This matter up and worked aggressively on it.
Well, one of the things that had to happen is that this had to become a national issue, not a New York issue. It took a while, and Stewart, I think, that was a seminal moment because he nationalized the issue.
It was Thursday when Jon Stewart dedicated his entire show to attacking Republican opposition to the bill.
The House of Representatives passed it, and it would pass in the Senate if it came to an up or down vote. They have more than the 50 votes they need. But the Senate Republicans have filibustered it, won't allow the bill to come up for a vote. Luckily, yesterday there was some good news from the Senate. The logjam broke.
Today, the Senate passed that bill to extend tax cuts to all Americans, including the wealthiest, by an overwhelming 81-19 vote.
Yes! That is astoundingly good news for firefighters that make over $200,000 a year.
Stewart also featured a panel of first responders suffering from various diseases and cancers due to the breathing in of toxic fumes at Ground Zero, as well as a guest appearance from Mike Huckabee, who encouraged fellow Republicans to pass the bill. Joining me now, Bloomberg News columnist Margaret Carlson. Margaret, let's listen to Jon Stewart's interview with Rachel Maddow last month.
But the one thing I don't have that you have is the ability to really do something about it. You're in the game. Like, here's
You're
what
in the
people...
game, too. We're in the same game.
I don't think so. I think you're in a better game than I'm in.
How? What's the difference? What's the material difference?
You're on the playing field, and I'm in the stands yelling things. The next thing I could do is step onto the field and go, so now here's what we're going to do, people. Jones, you get over there. Brooklyn, you grab the canteens. Yeah. We're going to out there. But I don't. That's my failing and my indulgence, but it's done because I feel like I am where I belong.
Margaret, what game is he in now? He's getting credit from the White House, from Robert Gibbs, from everybody who's looked at this. He is getting credit for having gotten this bill passed.
Well, if he were to get into Rachel Maddow's game, he would be competing, say, for instance, with you, Lawrence, and these others. He's set apart by being a comic. And, you know, being earnest and you know, look at Dennis Miller having become earnest and a little bit sweaty. These are the enemies of comedy. And it's Jon Stewart stepping out of that and into doing his entire last show as a serious matter that helped it. Not that he in and of himself doesn't have a megaphone, but if he did that every night, I think he would lose some of his clout.
Let's listen to what Robert Gibbs had to say about this.
If there's the ability for that to sort of break through in our political environment, I think there's a good chance that he can help do that. I think he has put this. I think he has put the awareness around this legislation. He's put that awareness into what you guys cover each day, and I think that's good.
Now, Margaret, this is all good and well, and Jon Stewart deserves all the credit he's getting, but they are leaving out someone else. Let's take a look at what Shepard Smith had to say about this on Fox News.
Again, this is the picture of Senator Tom Coburn, Republican of Oklahoma. He is the man who is vowing to slow this down or block it so that the necessary funding for the illnesses of the first responders who made it to Ground Zero to try to save lives on the day that America changed, remember? This is the senator who is vowing to block it so that it doesn't make it through. Senator Tom Coburn, Republican of Oklahoma, the man who vows today to block or delay the 9/11 first responders bill, despite the fact that Senator Kirsten Gillibrand of New York and Senator Chuck Schumer of New York say they have the votes to get it done.
Now, Margaret, after that, Tom Coburn entered direct negotiations with Chuck Schumer and got this done. Let's think about the numbers. Jon Stewart's show, by the way, both of those guys, much higher ratings than mine. Jon Stewart, 1.25 million people watched that 9/11 episode of his. In fact, it was a lower than average rating for him in the month of December. Shepard Smith had 1.8 million people watching his show. We can, I think, guess that a lot of them, if not most of them, were Republicans. And if you're trying to move Tom Coburn, Republican senator, which is more effective? Shepard Smith on Fox News, putting his face up there and hitting him as hard as anybody's ever been hit on Fox News, or Jon Stewart on Comedy Central? Which one of those shows do you think has greater effect on a Republican senator from Oklahoma?
Well, Lawrence, that's like Sophie's Choice, but the Republican Fox network certainly does matter. And, you know, one of the surprising things about this is that the Republicans have always owned 9/11. You know, we were going to let the terrorists win if we didn't do everything that Cheney and Bush said due to 9/11. And then they let this one go. And partly this end run was because the Republican Party at the end here in this lame duck session stood for nothing and were happy to stand for nothing but tax cuts for the wealthy. They did it loud. They did it under the lights, and there was this incredible move to not be known for anything else. I mean, imagine holding up first responders for tax cuts for the wealthy.
Margaret, you're not alone in our frame tonight. It's a very Christmas-looking shot there. Thank you, Margaret Carlson of Bloomberg News, for joining us tonight. Who was that?
This is Anna Carlson Yarkin. Thank you, Lawrence.
Anna Carlson. Thanks for joining us, Anna.